Aloha! Happy Wednesday! That's Wedding Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking about a ultimate honeymoon in Hawaii. I have a special guest joining us, and her name is Robyn from the Hawaii Visitors Bureau. She's going to do a deep dive and tell us all the hidden gems, basically tell us everything we need to know about Maui and more. So just a little bit about Robyn. She is from Chicago, but she is in Hawaii right now. She's very lucky. When she comes on, you'll see she's got the ocean in the background, so we can all pretend we're there with her. But she's been with the Hawaii Visitors Bureau for, I think since 2008, but she's been in the travel industry for 28 years, and she's been selling Hawaii for over 20. So she's coming on now. She's joining. So yeah, but wait till you see her backdrop. She just sent me a picture. It's gorgeous. Hey, Robyn!
Aloha! Aloha,
Hi.
Megan!
Aloha! It's so gorgeous.
Yes, not a bad view
Oh, I love it.
here in beautiful Maui. So
Oh,
no complaints about that at all.
right? How are you doing?
Oh my God, it's absolutely amazing to be here. The weather is incredible. You've got less crowds. You got a very laid back,
Awesome.
feel here. It's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, I bet. I wish I was there right now.
A
But
little
although I
chilly
will
there.
say, yeah, well, it's 50 degrees today and sunny. Not
Ooh.
bad. Not
Well,
bad. I'll take it.
typical 82 and
Oh,
sunny and beautiful here today in Maui. So sorry
uh,
about that.
no, that's all right. That's okay. It's okay. Well, I'll be there eventually. So how
Absolutely.
has it been going there? What are you noticing with the travel restrictions, and like what are the biggest differences you're seeing now compared to pre-COVID?
Yeah, I mean, I've been traveling to Hawaii for over 20 years, and it's interesting because I was glad to come here and be able to, kind of re-experience it firsthand. And of course, we all know that travel is changing everywhere, right? There are protocols, there are testing procedures, but what I find with Hawaii, there are step-by-step instructions. You have to take the pre-test before you come. But that's what a travel advisor like Megan is for, to give you all of the information on where to test and how you need to do it.
Right.
But, you go in, you take the test, you upload your test results, to an app. You show your credentials when you arrive, and
Awesome.
you're, really free to enjoy the destination. And I think the one misnomer, no matter where you live, we've got, new protocols that we're all living in, right? So
Sure.
here in Hawaii, it's a destination that always prioritizes health and safety because it is an island community. So of course, it's the same kind of protocols. So if you're, in a restaurant, a mask until you sit down and you're seated
Sure.
for dinner. If you're walking to the pool, you maybe wear a mask out of respect for everybody, but then you sit down, you relax. If you're
Okay.
walking, like along the beach, and as long as you can social distance outdoors, there's no need to wear a mask.
Okay.
So it's just really a mutual respect, kind of
Sure.
atmosphere. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay. Great. And then, so how are the luau's operating?
Yeah, you'll see slight differences if you
Okay.
have been to Hawaii before. And if you haven't been, basically it's the same concept of just social distancing and limiting capacity. So, for example, luau's that typically were you would seat it at, kind of a long table with multiple people, and then you'd be going to a buffet. So that's a very kind of traditional classic luau experience.
Okay.
Now, what it is it would be, say, maybe half the capacity. Okay,
Oh,
so maybe a luau would typically have 500 people. Now it's
right.
250. And
Okay.
instead of being at a table with a huge group, you can be just with the two of you if you're going for a romance, for honeymoon, or if you have a small family, you're all together. And what they
Awesome.
might do is might have table service where they bring you the dishes right to your table so that you're not going up
Oh,
and getting a buffet. So what I love about it is it's actually kind of a more intimate, special experience. You still have that
nice.
incredible entertainment, and they do the settings like right here, like it'd be right
Yeah.
on the ocean as the sun sets. So you can still experience it. It's
Awesome.
just a little bit different in terms of kind of that format and that flow.
Sure. And I'm sure they're
Yeah.
probably booking up faster, so people probably have to get reservations sooner than later.
Yeah, that's the one thing that conceptually you understand, but when you get here, I think some people have the misperception as, okay, well, there's not many people traveling now. It's going to be wide open. I
Right.
can just do whatever. And it's actually the opposite. With less capacity on the days that some of these activities and tours and luau's operate, so you have less capacity and they might be running less days. So
Oh,
that actually makes it critically important to reserve so that you've got your
sure.
itinerary set. You don't have to worry about, when you get here, what if it's not available and I'm only here for a
Right.
couple of nights. So that, that's definitely something that that I would recommend. It just
Okay.
takes a little bit more planning,
Sure.
but you can still have that incredible experience. It's just important that you plan a little bit further. And again, someone like Megan, a travel advisor, can help you make sure you get all that confirmed in advance.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, good. Well,
Yeah.
that's good to know. I mean, people might not like not having the buffet, but
The food's great. And actually, one of my
I know I
favorite
love.
luau's.
We love. We did two of them when we went. We did one on Maui and Kauai. We
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah, and it's really incredible because right now, like I said, it's really the same overall experience, just a little bit more intimate. And one of my favorite luau's is called Feast at Lele. It's in Maui, and that luau have always done where you could reserve, your own table for two or a small party, which I always
Okay,
liked because then you could kind of share that a little bit more of an intimate
right.
experience.
No, that's
Yeah,
really good to know. Awesome.
yeah.
All right, so now I know whenever I'm booking my honeymooners, it's either, Wailea or Kanapali. So, I mean, I know a little bit of the differences, but I'm curious to know what you think of them.
Yeah, and it's actually awesome. And I've been here, sorry not to be jealous,
Yeah.
everyone, but since the 20th of January. So I'm going on my fourth week in Maui, and
Uh,
I've bopped around the island, which is wonderful. And how I would really kind of characterize the two resort areas. So right now I'm in Ka'anapali. So Ka'anapali has, kind of a nice stretch of beach
right.
here,
Okay.
and you have a variety of different level hotels and resorts. You might have a nice solid 3.5 star up to a 5 star full amenity like the newly renovated Westin, Hyatt, etc. You've got some condos. So there's a nice variety. Ka'anapali is also closer to the town of Lahaina. So Lahaina, will give you, it's a charming little town right on the ocean, shopping, dining, some nightlife.
Right.
You've got some of the dinner cruises and cocktail cruises take off from Lahaina. So I always say if people want maybe a little bit more like activity, a little bit more nightlife and all
Sure.
of that, if that's really important, Ka'anapali might be a better fit. Lots of golf, close to a lot of different dining experiences as well.
Sure.
Wailea, I kind of describe it as a little bit more of, a little bit more upscale, a little bit more kind of, like a country club type feel. You've got
Okay.
beautiful, mostly high-end properties like your Four Seasons, your Grand Wailea. I stayed at the beautiful Fairmont Kealani. You have the Ondas, which is
Right.
lovely. So upscale product. You have a beautiful boardwalk that fronts the ocean, great for walking and running. You have, it's more kind of high-end dining, a little bit quieter though. So some people love that. Hey, I've
Sure.
had this, maybe crazy, hectic wedding. I just kind of want to go and relax. But
Yeah.
again, you
Veg.
still have access to shopping, dining, beautiful beaches. One thing too, I noticed, especially in the winter months, Wailea, because it's further south, is tends to be a little bit warmer, a little bit
Oh.
less
Oh,
windy.
that's good to know.
I'm actually super excited right now because I was worried about where I was going to do this because I'm in Ka'anapali and it was super windy the last. Now again, lovely. It's still 80
Yeah.
and you got
Right.
beautiful trade winds, but a little bit windier up here in Ka'anapali. So both really great. Both have a great variety of activities, but just a little bit different of a feel. And if people really want the access to more shopping and dining and nightlife, Ka'anapali is closer to the town of Lahaina.
Sure. Okay. And then,
Yeah.
so to your bunny, she just asked where are these locations. So these are both on the island of Maui in Hawaii. So we're talking
Yes.
about the two towns,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
Wailea versus Kanapali. But I liked how
Yeah.
you reference how you said Wailea is more of a country club feel. That's a good. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, and the cool thing too is about Maui is that so these, Lahaina Ka'anapali is the west side, and they call Wailea the south side. And what's amazing, so you have these resort areas that access to everything, right, for shopping, dining, golf, you name it. But then if I definitely recommend renting a car, which we'll probably talk about.
Yeah.
But the great thing is you can literally get in your car and drive up like the slopes of
Yes.
Haleakala, and it is upcountry Maui. It is farms, ranches, vineyards, charming small towns. So Hawaii is very unique in general that, it is a destination that has beautiful resorts, but I always tell people it's so much more than a resort
Yes.
experience. It truly is a destination experience. So
Yeah.
you could carve out your trip by spending a couple of relaxing days, at the pool or the beach, going to the spa, but then just getting off and exploring kind of unspoiled Maui and the Hawaiian
100%.
Islands, which is great.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's completely different than doing like an all inclusive, in Mexico. Like because I just had someone reach out to me and she wants to do she's in between Hawaii and Mexico, but they don't want to do anything. Well, I'm like, don't spend your money on Hawaii if you're not going to go do anything.
Right.
Like you have to
Right.
experience the island and see everything.
Yeah, it's a real apples and oranges experience,
Yes,
and not to say
totally.
that there's anything,
No.
better than one or the other. What I love about Hawaii is you have the blend of the
Yes.
relaxation resort, but I'm a
Right.
doer. I'm like, I've done so much stuff since I've already been here, but I love hiking. I love, just all the activities. So to me, to have both of those elements,
Yes.
and, honestly, with all of the new protocols and restrictions, Hawaii has this incredible exotic feel, the language, the hula, the experiences, but all
Yeah.
the ease and comfort of US. So even with the pre-travel testing,
Right.
you
Right.
test here in Hawaii, you come to the islands, you don't have to worry about testing before you go back to the mainland. So
Right.
it's kind of that you kind of get the best of both worlds as well with it being part of the US.
For sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, speaking of activities, let's hear about what you've done so far and what you recommend for like off the beaten path, something that people normally wouldn't just Google. They wouldn't know if they Googled it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. There's so much,
I know, there really is.
and and that's again, that's the great thing because I think also, you hear about things like snorkeling and sunset sails and all that. That's great, and there's a lot, but there's so many of them to even try to
Yes.
make sense of what's best. And again, that's what I think is such a value with people like Megan and travel advice can say, okay, I've done this one. This is how the experience is. So since I've been here, so full disclosure, I was here celebrating my 50th birthday. Had to be here
Happy
in
birthday.
the 50th state, celebrating the 50. So, some of the cool things I've done is, you can actually, you can go up to the summit of Haleakala Crater, and it's, the world's largest dormant volcano. Going up at sunrise, you're up at 10,023 feet in elevation. And Haleakala in Hawaiian literally translates to mean house of the sun. So you're looking out over this cloud covered crater as the sun seemingly rises out of the center. I mean, it is absolutely a magical
It's
experience.
my favorite. Like it always gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. Like it is my like I tell all my clients to go like do Haleakala sunrise, please.
It is really amazing. You can go up at other times, but truly in
Yeah, I
Hawaiian
know it is.
culture, there's something so magical about the dawning of a new day. And so to be up
Yeah.
there. And so, I actually originally had planned to just go up, see the sunrise and then maybe hike, do that. But as
Sure.
we were discussing, you actually have to have a parking pass at sunrise because they're limiting capacity. So even when
Right.
I was going online to try to book that in advance, it was completely sold out for weeks. So I had to kind of pivot, and I ended up booking a tour, which was taking you up for the sunrise and then doing the bike ride 23 miles down, which is
Right.
an amazing experience. But again, kind of another example of, kind of having to think ahead,
Right.
and prearrange these things. Also, the morning before, as I stayed at the Fairmont, they have this amazing experience, and they have it at the one on Maui and the one on the island of Hawaii, is they do these beautiful canoe rides. So the outrigger canoe is something where the Polynesians kind of came and navigated over from Polynesia to Hawaii. So it's very connected to the Hawaiian culture. So they
Okay.
have these canoe rides that you just need to book in advance. It doesn't even cost you anything. So you head down to the beach in the morning. They've got a kapuna or an elder, and a guide, and then they come out and they blow the conch shell.
Oh,
That's
that's
kind of to signify, the
yeah.
start of a new day. And then they do this wonderful chant, kind of welcoming in the day. And we got in that outrigger canoe, just four of us, and paddled out at sunrise.
Awesome.
I
That's
mean,
awesome.
absolutely amazing and beautiful, peaceful. We could see the dolphins and the whales. I mean,
Um,
it's
yeah.
absolutely
Right.
incredible.
And it's whale season right now too.
Tons of
Perfect.
whales. Tons of whales. I
Uh,
actually,
that's
one thing
awesome.
I did too is, this past weekend I went over to the island of Lanai. So those of you aren't aware, the only, most islands you have to get to, you have to fly.
Right.
But actually, Maui's sister island is Lanai, a small little island of only 3,000 people, and you can take a ferry or fly. So I took a ferry over. It was about 45 minutes Oh my gosh, the whales. And then when we got into Hulapo'i Bay on the South Shore, the dolphins just like frolicking in the surf was absolutely spectacular. And it like gives you that like a two island experience. And the nice thing was, just traveling by ferry, you don't have to worry about getting to the airport, checking your bags.
Right, right.
I could bring a bottle of wine in my bag,
Yeah,
no
right.
problem. And there's no additional testing when you travel between Maui and the sister islands. So it made it very easy. Stayed at an incredible Sensei Lanai, which is a Four Seasons resort. Absolutely amazing wellness, incredible spa. It was absolutely one of the most unique places with beautiful gardens, yoga, hiking excursions.
Your pictures, oh my God, I couldn't even believe that was Hawaii with all the like the pine trees, those I don't know, the firs.
These
I don't know,
Norfolk pine trees.
no, that was I
Yeah.
can't even believe that's Hawaii. Like it doesn't even look like it. It's amazing.
So unique. And so what I
Okay.
recommend a lot of time, it's an easy jaunt over for people coming over to Maui. So they have this beautiful Sensei Lanai in the Upcountry area, which is, kind of surrounded by the Norfolk pine trees and just this lush, amazing area. It's almost like a microclimate, right? A little bit cooler, sometimes a little misty, but they also
Yeah.
have a beachfront resort. So sometimes people even hop down there, a beautiful, one of the top beaches, Hulapo'i Bay. They have a wonderful farm to table restaurant and a beautiful Four Seasons resort on the beach too. So you can go to Lanai, you can stay, you can take the ferry over for the day. You want to get a four-wheel drive vehicle because there's only 30 miles of paved road, or you can even just take a day trip over as well. So it's a great little jaunt over from Maui.
That's awesome. So
Yeah,
that canoe experience that you had at Fairmont, that's only for guests, right? Because I think
exactly.
it's
Yes.
included in because all the hotels throughout Hawaii all charge a resort fee, and it's always in that resort fee. So like I know, for example,
Right.
like the Andaz, like it's usually what like $40 I think per day for the resort fee.
Yeah, it depends, and
About
some of them might
yeah.
include parking, so yeah, yeah.
Right. And then
Yep.
like on Jaws, they'll give you, I think there's this $40 and they'll give you an actual GoPro to use for your duration of their stay, which is kind of awesome. It's fun,
Yeah.
so it stinks to pay that $40 more cause on top of your hotel rate, but they do give you more than just here's my $40.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to think about it in terms of the
Right.
values that are associated with that resort fee versus kind of being nickel and dimed maybe for some individual, things. They kind of just package it all up together.
Yeah. Right. And then what about, so I know you did a lot of hiking and then you did the water repelling. Where did you do the water repelling at?
Oh my God. So the repelling is something I've been obsessed with for years. And every time
I
I'm
know I've
here, it's
never
for
done it. I've always wanted to.
it's awesome. And what's a cool thing? Okay, so this is how it started. So I was going to do, many of you probably heard to the amazing, Road to Hana, right in Maui. So I wanted to do the Road to Hana, which is, starts officially kind of near Kahului Airport on the north end of the island. It's about 52 miles on the north side, but you'll experience about 617 curves and 54 one-lane bridges. So you want to take your time. It is, I say, it's not like you're commuting to work. If you're doing it all
It's
in a
an all day.
day, yeah, take your time,
Yes.
enjoy the journey, get a picnic lunch, stop along the way. So
Right.
ideally, so the rappelling is actually like halfway to Hana. It's just off, it's
Oh,
kind of near the town of Paia. We go
okay.
past Paia and it's actually in this place called the Garden of Eden.
Okay.
Hello, amazing.
Yeah,
This
right.
beautiful garden and arboretum. So actually, so you drive there, you meet your rappelling guides at this beautiful
Okay.
garden. They outfit you with your gear. You kind of hike down a little bit into these are private canyons and waterfalls. So I think
Awesome.
on our excursion is about 8 people, obviously
Okay.
social distance.
Right.
But you go down and you literally do a little practice rappel down and you go down these incredible
Um,
waterfalls. And it's like just you. So you not
wow.
only get to experience this beautiful garden, but rappelling down. So great little kind of, adventure type activity, but
Yes.
it's so cool. So if you were ever thinking about doing that, you could actually drive from some of the resorts, maybe do that morning excursion,
Sure.
then
Yeah.
continue on to Hana,
That's a good idea.
which was fantastic. And another thing that that's newer. So most people like they get to Hana and they might stop on the way or whatever. There's a fantastic new kind of local restaurant called Hana Farms.
Oh, I was
So
just gonna
everything is
ask you about that.
locally
I didn't because I like
produced.
when we went, there was like nothing to eat. We went to like this
I
shack
know.
and really.
I know, and that's why I wanted to get it out on social media. Like,
Yeah.
wait, don't stop for that stuff. Like,
Oh, right. Oh,
wait
that's
till you get like close to Hana. So it's all locally grown and produced.
awesome.
And they had the most amazing, they had local fish. I had the roasted Kahlua pork, all fresh,
Uh,
like microgreens. They have wonderful house-made sodas with syrups. Then you
uh,
can go, they have a great local marketplace where you can like, shop and get some great local stuff versus going to an ABC store.
right.
But it was one of those hidden gems, and it's only been there for 2 years. So it was the first time I had
Oh,
experienced that. So if anyone
okay.
does the road to Hana, like maybe grab some banana bread on the way, but save your
Right.
appetite till you get to Hana. It was really, really
No, that's
amazing.
really good to know because I remember we were looking, we went to like this random shack and we're like, it wasn't even that great. And we were like, darn it, we should have brought a lunch. So I
Right,
just tell my
right.
clients, like, bring a lunch, but now they don't have to.
Exactly. I was so happy I saved my appetite. So it was one of the highlights, honestly, of my drive. It was
That's
incredible.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so now for honeymooners, like they're always looking for something different, like more romantic dinners and like especially lounges at night, with entertainment, music and entertainment. Like, what are some of the top ones that you like that you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much in Hawaii. And again, it's interesting because obviously, in the given scenario we are in, sometimes like hotels like Andaz, like Four Seasons, they had entertainment 7 days a week, but I kind of wanted to call and make
Sure.
sure that that was going on. But, Andaz was truly one of my favorites because it's beautiful. It's like on the third level overlooking these layers of infinity pools with
Uh,
fire pits, live music, great cocktails. And let me tell you, the best lobster grilled cheese sandwich. It is
oh,
legendary. Like it's serious, a
sounds amazing.
legendary sandwich. That's a little insider tip.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely lovely, and it's at the sunset. It's just absolutely magical. One of my favorite, another like romantic things to do. So one of my favorite sunset sails is actually a Li'i Nui sail, and they had the most
Okay.
amazing. And because they have lower capacity, there were probably like 20 people on the boat,
Oh no.
and you sit down and they have the most incredible spread of steak and shrimp
Wow.
and poke and cheesecakes and
Wow.
like absolutely amazing and incredible. They're serving you champagne, wines, top shelf, liquor and the cocktail. So that was one actually that was
Wow.
recommended to me by the concierge at the Fairmont years
Oh,
ago,
okay.
and I continued to just be in love with that one in particular. And if you guys haven't heard too, Mama's Fish House is
Yeah.
just an icon in Maui, right there in the town of Paia. Definitely make your reservation in advance, but to get a reservation there right on the ocean at sunset is absolutely spectacular. And then even a lot of the hotels will do like private dinners in cabanas, near
Oh,
the pool or on the beach. Talk
mhm.
about social distancing. That's a great way to
Right.
to do it. And then even some of the unique like farm to table type experiences, like there's a place on the slopes of Haleakala called OO Farms. And
Okay.
so they're again trying to grow their own produce, be
Yeah.
self-sustainable. You basically take a little tour with a local farmer. They kind of talk about their focus on sustainability. They have a chef, and he prepares a lovely gourmet organic lunch. You can actually bring over some of the wine because in Upcountry Maui they also have a winery where they
Right.
make their own red, white, sparkling, even a pineapple wine. They
Ooh.
have ocean organic vodka. They have a beautiful distillery in
Wow.
Upcountry, which is stunning. So there's all these really cool, like unique, kind of off the beaten path and dining experiences in
For sure.
addition to the traditional places. And of course, like in Lahaina, beautiful places like Kimo's where you're on the ocean. You've
Right.
got, singing, you've got all the fresh fish in a beautiful oceanfront location watching sunset. So, there's so many incredible special options here in Maui.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
like, and that's what I love about it too is like no matter where you are on the island, it's a different landscape, like completely different all over, and it's just a different
Yep.
experience.
So true. So
It's
true. And that's why I always encourage people to rent cars or, get a Jeep,
yeah,
get a convertible because we're very different. If it's not an all inclusive, like, and it's
yeah,
everything is spread out here. So if
right.
you were, yes, there's Uber here, but if you were to Uber all over the island, it would cost you way more
Oh,
than it would be for a rental car.
right.
So I've had a convertible the whole time. It has been awesome. Road to Hana, because, everything is sensory, is all, touches
Yeah,
all the senses. So you
right.
can smell the green in the air and feel the trade winds and
Yes.
really get out and explore. And as you drive, like in Kaanapali, like I said, is usually a little bit windier, down Wailea a little bit drier. When you go over to Hana, it's a
Right.
rainforest. So you're literally going to be in this lush green rainforest. So it's even the microclimates, as you drive throughout the island are very unique and different. It really gives you a flavor of what the island's about.
Yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
so as far as like an ideal time frame, you probably right, especially if you're coming from the Midwest or the East Coast, at least 7 nights to experience
I
it all.
recommend
You
4 weeks minimum.
Yeah. If we all had
I'm
4 weeks.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm extremely lucky and I'm working from here now, full
No, it's
disclosure.
okay.
But no, Megan and I were talking about this before. And you know what? Honestly, if someone came to me and said, I have 4 nights, I would say, you know what? Maybe go somewhere else now because you have to factor in the travel times. Typically,
Right.
you're leaving in the morning, from Chicago, East Coast, wherever, it's about, if it's the nonstop, it's about 8.5 hours. So right now there's a 4 hour time difference. So coming out, it's great. You gain the time. When
Right.
you return, you are taking a red eye flight. So you're flying overnight, you're getting
Yeah.
in. So to do it so short, it doesn't give you enough time to really be here, relax, enjoy, and do before you have to go back home. So truly 7 nights would kind of be, what I would recommend. If you can do more, it's wonderful.
For
Because
sure.
again, the travel time, you just need to factor that in.
And I know a lot of people want an island hop, which is totally fine. I mean, because we did it. I mean, it's because you want to see different things. So I always say at least the minimum 4 nights. Like on each island, like nothing, or
Yeah.
Maui and Kauai, because there's just so much to do and see. Or even the big.
Yeah, I mean,
That
absolutely. No, I agree. And I think that's the great thing about Hawaii is that you can come here and have just completely different experiences with an island hop. So it's
right.
one vacation with very diverse experiences. So, and that's another great thing is it's such a customized experience. It's not like I'm going on package A for 7 nights in
Yes,
this
right.
room and this is what I'm going to eat, drink, sleep. It's
Yes.
really like I want 3 nights here, I want 4 nights here, exactly what is, most appealing to me, as an individual traveler. So that's, I think, kind of something that sets Hawaii apart from a lot of other destinations as well.
And one thing too is, so I know a lot of people feel like they have to plan out their days, which you don't really necessarily have to, but at least book those big ticket or like those big things like the luau. Make sure you get your tickets. Plan at least the day you're going to do the road to Hana, just so you can have an idea of when you're going to do it, because it's literally an all day thing. So
Yes.
like definitely spend your whole day doing that. And then if you're going to go do Mount Haleakala sunrise, you're going to get up at like what time did you get up? 3 a.m.
Well,
2
it
a.m.
depends. So the group had to be, I think, oh, wait. Oh, no, I got picked up at 3 a.m.
Oh, 3. Okay.
Depends on where you are. But you know what I tell,
Right.
here's
Yeah.
a little tip. So if you are actually going to do Haleakala, you do it on your first full morning.
Yes.
So when you arrive, because the next morning your body clock is still going to be on
Yep.
Chicago time. So you'll be
Exactly.
up early anyway. But yeah, it's early because, it is a slow climb up and you need to be up. And let me tell you, at the summit, I mean, the sunrise was beautiful, but the pre-dawn colors were
Yes.
absolutely spectacular. So it was, it's important to get there early, but Megan's definitely right, is that, you don't have to schedule yourself, it's not like the Griswolds, right, are
Right.
doing, a trip, but basically it's really like you want to plan the big things, the bucket list. Like if you leave, you're going to be upset if you can't do this,
Right.
those type of things, but leave some time, here and there for some relaxation and just exploring on your own as well.
Because there were times like, because we really didn't do, when we went for our 5 year wedding anniversary, and when we went, we didn't really have anything to plan out. I think we did a lot of last minute things, but we were kind of there to chill. But we did do it. We actually did a ton. But there were times where we're like, when I remember we were at the Grand Hyatt in Kauai, and it was like our second to last day or something, and we were like at the pool all day, and we're like, let's just get up and go. So we just like changed real quick, got in the car, we drove to the North Shore, saw the most amazing
Exactly.
sunset. Like it's just, that's what's so awesome about Hawaii in general, is like you need that rental car, like, because you got to be able to just do what you want, and like you're gonna find those little surprises throughout,
Agreed. Yeah.
days.
And that also opens up the dining because, of course the hotels have restaurants, but my favorite thing is getting off site, going to these great
Yes.
little local places, going to a little poke shack, right? Or going
Right.
to Star Noodle, one of my favorites in
Yes, me too.
Lahaina.
That
Yeah.
shrimp,
So
like the shrimp tempura was like,
I
it was
know,
huge.
to die for.
We were
Yeah.
just talking,
So,
like that was
yeah.
the best tempura ever.
I agree 100%.
Okay, so as far as like, so just to recap, so you don't really need to plan too much ahead. I mean, you do need to, like we said, map out some of your days. And then obviously, if you work with a travel agent, we would make sure you're up to date with all of the protocols. Um,
Exactly.
uh,
That's key
with their
because
free,
they can change.
yeah, they literally change all the time.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, are there any other last minute tips that you want to share with anybody or
Oh my
share with us?
God. Yeah, no, I just think that, it's funny. I was on social media today and somebody was asking if someone wanted to go to Hawaii, and somebody said, "Well, I don't want to go until you can't wear a mask." And I said, "If you have to wear a mask anywhere, I'd rather be wearing a mask in Hawaii."
Yeah,
So, I
everyone
mean,
can
it's
so
less crowded. It's less
yeah,
crowded. It's still a lovely experience.
yes.
There's these wide open spaces. I mean, Hawaii in general really lends itself to social distancing with having a car, getting off the beaten path. All the dining is
Yeah.
outdoors. It's a lovely place to be and to just experience all the best, that the destination has to offer.
I know
So
it's social distancing at its best. I mean, and then
exactly right.
paradise. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no, thank you so much for joining me. This was amazing. I just wanted to get an insider's perspective on how things are going over there, and I know
Yeah.
are going to be excited about this. But if
Yeah.
anybody has any questions, like drop them in the chat, or like, because I think so. Once this is over, I will turn it into an IGTV, so you could drop your comments in there, or send me a DM, and I can get you an answer. And then next week, so Robyn's going to the Big Island next week. So we're gonna do the same, I think, same time next
Well, we
time.
have to decide. I may have to, because I'm still being in Maui. We might have to push it
Okay,
one more week or one more day,
that's
but we'll communicate
yeah.
about
So,
that.
but
We're
we're
going to do
gonna
it
do
live
it.
from the
Yeah, we're gonna
island of
live
Hawaii.
from the Big Island.
Yes. I know. I'm still in Maui. So,
But if you guys, so again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. If you need help planning your Hawaii trip, contact me. I can definitely help. And then that's it. So, but
all right.
mahalo.
And cheers to that.
Like,
I had to
cheers.
get a Mai Tai
Oh,
when in Rome.
all right. Well,
All
enjoy
right. All
again.
right.
Bye bye.
Mahalo. Aloha.